One of the final tests for the F-106 weapon system was to shoot down a target closing at almost 2,000 miles per hour. Headquarters ordered the 94th Fighter Interceptor Squadron from Selfridge Air Force Base, Michigan, to fly two F-106s down to Tyndall Air Force Base, Florida, for this test. The squadron commander, Colonel Hugh J. Martin, could pick any two pilots he wished to fly this mission. He chose to lead the mission himself and chose me as his wingman because I had a good reputation with radar and missiles. We flew down to Tyndall, and in the morning we came in for our mission briefing. Our target would be a BOMARC missile which had two ramjet engines. It would climb to 55,000 feet and accelerate to 2.5 times the speed of sound. We would attack head-on at 45,000 feet, 1.3 times the speed of sound, so our overtake of Mach 3.8 would match the speed requirements of the test. Two F-104s, which are very fast but have little fuel, would take off before the BOMARC, stay in afterburner, and the BOMARC would be fired directly over their heads so they could shoot at it with Sidewinder missiles. Colonel Martin in his F-106 would get the next shot with one radar-guided missile. I would be next with one infrared missile. If I missed, the BOMARC would run out of fuel and two F-102s would try to shoot it down as it glided toward the Gulf of Mexico. The BOMARC would be at 55,000 feet and we would be at 45,000 feet, giving us 10,000 feet clearance for safety. Colonel Martin's radar missile had the best chance of success, but the engineers figured that the BOMARC at 2.5 times the speed of sound would get so hot that my infrared missile would have a chance. The small, fast F-104s took off first. The BOMARC blasted off next and was directed to fly directly over the F-104s. The lead F-104 didn't have a shot. The number 2 F-104 fired a Sidewinder directly over his lead's canopy, but missed both his lead and the BOMARC. Colonel Martin was next, but he was unable to lock onto the BOMARC, which was closing on him at almost 2,000 miles an hour. I lit my afterburner, accelerated supersonic, and climbed to 45,000 feet, about 10 miles behind Colonel Martin. It was a beautiful day. I could see the smoke of the BOMARC as it blasted off from Eglin and its contrail as it reached 55,000 feet and turned east toward me. I locked my radar onto the target, and as Colonel Martin passed it, I was cleared to fire. I squeezed the trigger, and the plane shook as the doors opened, and I heard the whoosh as a missile left the plane. I was so intent on the BOMARC that I had climbed above my 45,000 foot safety altitude. The missile streaked toward the BOMARC, hitting his left engine and blowing off his left wing. It rolled over and dove on me. I remember a ball of fire streaking over my canopy at almost 2,000 miles an hour. In an instant, I was in the clear, and I returned to Tyndall for a welcome by my crew chiefs and a cameraman. Since then, other BOMARCs have been shot down, but I got the first.